Awesome. We should be ready to go. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, you've mentioned that you're just back from this huge Europe tour. How do you feel back on, back in the country? How do you have this sort of after tour blues or anything like that?
Yeah, I definitely usually get the post-tour blues, like,
Yeah.
because especially after COVID, like we already took a 2-year break.
Yeah.
So it feels really good to just be playing shows again and being able to see audiences, meet people, and, play with the guys again because everyone in Dragon Force, other than Herman, lives like on the other side of the world. So I
Yeah.
don't even get to see my own bandmates. And yeah, so it's been good, but there's pros and cons. Like it's definitely nice to come back home to some sunshine. Like I'm an LA girl, like I was
Yeah.
born here, raised, and so yeah, I was pretty cold in the winter in Europe,
I
but
can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine.
it was snowing the day that I flew home. But I mean, it was really cool. But I'm not gonna lie, I do miss the warm, so it was nice to come home for that reason. But
Yeah, I this can't be blamed really. I can imagine it's quite an experience to tour Europe, especially in the colder months. So yeah, I can definitely know what you mean. But do in general, what's your favorite aspect of touring? Like, do you like the specifically, traveling aspect and just going to different countries, or and do you enjoy like sightseeing and just being outside of your typical routine, or it's more about the music and playing in front of people and just experiencing the whole dynamic being with your bandmates and just doing everything together?
yeah, I mean, I'd say it's both because music and traveling are my two favorite things in the world. So I get to
Hmm.
combine both with touring. Um, so yeah, this tour especially was pretty cool because it was my first tour with Dragon Force that we weren't headlining. So we were direct supporting Powerwolf in Europe, and which meant that our sound checks were later and we got off stage early. So I had a lot more time to actually see the cities we were going to, which was cool. And I really tried to make the most of it. Like, because I've been guilty at times of like waking up late on tour because you get used to the rhythm and just going to sound check and doing that. But this tour, I really made it a point to try to go out almost every day and like just see the city. And we had some cool days off and some new places I've never been. So yeah, that was awesome. And of course, playing the shows is one of my favorite parts of it too. So.
Yeah, like what's your favorite thing and what's your go-to activity when visiting a new place? Is there something specific that you are set on seeing or doing, or is just about, just going with the flow pretty much?
Kind of just, yeah, it depends. Going with the flow, like I'll kind of do a little research on the city sometimes, like seeing, what the major highlights of things you kind of have to see the first time, like
Yeah.
check off the touristy stuff. But then also I like going to like really weird, like kind of, I don't know, trippy places. Like I guess you wouldn't call them speakeasies,
Yeah.
back there because it wasn't exactly Prohibition era, but I mean, like weird hidden places or, you know, I don't know, just different things are pretty cool to see. And then if I know people in the city or meet people and become friendly, I'll ask them where to go to and, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. And how long was the tour you've just been on, by the way?
This one was a few weeks long. I stayed for an extra like week before and after the tour, so I was there for
Mm.
like 5 weeks, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I've always been very curious and very interested to hear from musicians, but as a person who I have very strong sense of my of my personal space and having my own time and just being on my own from time to time just to operate properly. I've always been very interested. Do you have these sort of problems when you're on tour and obviously you're constantly with group of people and you're traveling together and you're doing things together? Like, do you get that point where, this gets overwhelming, or it's just like constant fun and jokes and, just fun stuff?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I mean, I guess it just depends on the person, but I love it. Like, I don't you become like this family, I guess, on the road with your
Yeah.
bandmates and crew. So it's just kind of like experiencing all these different things together, funny moments, like meeting characters on the road. And so I don't really mind it. I mean, I think everyone goes through at least one period of the tour where maybe you feel like a little overwhelmed, where you're like, it'd be nice to have a little bit of me time. But like for the most part, I think as long as you're in a good environment, with the
Mhm.
people around you, then it's usually I enjoy it. So